Hey everyone, this week's story is about a task we've all had to do as a parent. So let me get the story started, all right? So we own a restaurant at this time in our life. Heather was just a small baby. She was like 18 months old. And we had actually had a private babysitter, just a lady in her home. And she had called the restaurant and she was in a panic. She was like, something is wrong with Heather. And she says, I cannot console her. And she says, I think she may have something in her eye. She didn't know if it was like a chemical she had got in her eye or what the deal was, but she thought it was something with her eye. So I get in the car, of course, and head over there. And on the way, I'm thinking, okay, if I end up going over there and it's like dirt in her eye or something, I'm going to be mad. But anyway, so I get there and Heather's still screaming. We can't console her. And so I was really worried about it. And so we ended up having to do something that we've probably all done as a parent. I don't know how many of you have had to do this. Like you're either giving your child medicine and you're holding them down. What about taking a splinter out of their hand or foot? We've had to do that, you know, and of course the kid sees you coming with them with a needle and they're like, ah, screaming and going on. What about shots? We've all had to, you know, sort of constrain our kid when they're getting shots and stuff. So we've all had to do that little task of holding our kid down and trying to help them, but they don't realize that, and so they're just screaming and yelling. So Heather's just screaming and yelling, and me and the babysitter are trying to hold her down to see what's in her eye, right? So we finally get her constrained where one of us can actually open her eye. And I'm honestly thinking that one may have held her hand and the other one was holding her feet or something, and somebody had to put their knee on her arm or something. I mean, we were really having to hold this kid down. And if you've ever had to hold a kid down while you're doing something like that, I mean, they are so strong. I mean, it's just unreal how strong they are. And so we're trying to get her eye open so we can see what's going on. And I finally get her eye open, and when I do, come in close, when I do, I open her eye, and when I look into her eye, there is a smiley face sticker stuck into her eye. So when I open her eye, I don't see like the iris of her eye. All I see is this smiley face sticker. Now let me tell you what I'd done. I had given her a sheet of those little bubble-like stickers, you know what I'm talking about? They're sort of plastic, but they're puffy and you can feel them. She had got this smiley face sticker on her eyeball, so when I opened her eye, all it was that sticker looking back at me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what is on her eye? And so I have to try to get this sticker off of her eye. And those little puffy things, it's almost like they had a little suction on her eyeball, you know? So we finally get this sticker off of her eye. She is just screaming bloody murder the whole time I'm trying to get that sticker off of her eyeball. Get it off of there, of course, get it rinsed out and stuff. So the deal is, guess what? Sometimes we have to hold them kids down, and we have to really try to hold our composure while we're really hurting our child, so that for the betterment of our child. Now, let me talk about the spiritual aspect of this. In Matthew chapter 7, chapter 7, verse 4, it talks about how we can perceive the mote in someone else's eye, but we don't see the beam in our own eye. So it's talking about how we can judge other people because of their sins, but in actuality, we're overlooking our own sins. And let me tell you, sometimes that's easy to do, right? But when it comes down to it, we really have enough to take care of by taking care of ourselves. You know, I'm constantly having to look at me. What can I do to help me be more Christ-like? I work in a profession in healthcare where it's easy to judge other folks, you know, and I'm a labor and delivery nurse, and sometimes I have to say, you know, just by the grace of God have I not gone where some of these other women have gone, where they're in situations that are almost difficult to deal with on a daily basis, so maybe they do drugs, or they're in an abusive relationship and they just can't get out, and then you see that when they come in to have their babies and stuff. Sometimes it's hard not to judge that, but we have to look at our own sins, take care of our own selves, right? And not be judging those other folks. We've got enough to take care of on our own. So today I want you to look at yourself. God, help me, search me, find my wicked ways, and help me to confess those and try to get better every day, every day. Same thing with our children. Sometimes we're easy to judge our children because we're mothers, and we'll say, hey, you don't need to be doing that, but we're not actually seeing the sin in our own lives. So today, as you seek the Lord and have Him help you look at your own sins instead of somebody else's, I hope that He points those out to you and that you confess those, and that we try to be better people and what point to Him. Have a great day, and we'll see you next week.